So you know, I'm not into women beefing. I'm not into this. Right? We already got enough problems with women disliking each other, right? When women need each other, y'all. Women really need each other. And this ain't gonna do nothing but fuel your dislike, your distrust, right? For each other, right? So, you know, that's cool, but I'm not into this. I'm not into this. Everybody wants to see women going at it. Right? And they're going to make money off of you beating each other down and separating yourselves. And then when it comes to you really needing people, who you going to turn to? Who are you going to turn to? You know. Mama, can you turn the light on for me, please?
This one?
Yes, ma'am.
You ready?
Yes, ma'am.
3, 2, 1.
Oh, wow, we got light. We got light. Say, let there be light.
Let there be light. You don't have enough roof yet. It's not me. See it? He's trapped again.
She trapped again, you gonna save her?
Yeah.
Right?
Just like this one. Mama, well, she tried this side too.
Save him. Save him.
Let's play, Mama. Says, let's play, Mama.
Okay, give it here. Let me try it.
She's trapped here.
So she didn't have me playing this game, right?
She's trapped here.
I went to sleep playing this game with her last night.
She's trapped.
And I told her to go to sleep. And I took it. And I went to sleep. And I wake up this morning to find the tablet in here. So that means she got out the bed and came and put it in here. And it was on this game. So at 6 o'clock in the morning, I'm playing this game. Come on. I stood here for 10 minutes playing this dang on game. Let me show you what this is. She got me playing. I stood here for 10 minutes playing this game at 6 o'clock this morning. Amaya, I got too much going on. That's so, you know, I would hope that we really start going. We really start going toward the light. We really start going towards the light and making a better, seeing the world differently and engaging with different types of content.
Want to play?
No, ma'am, not right now. Okay.
Finish your show?
Yeah, I'm gonna finish my show.
Okay. Maybe play this way.
Okay.
And
Can you go turn that light off in that closet, please?
play right off in the closet.
Yes. Right. So let's scroll in my Instagram because I saved a lot of videos over the last 2 months and I never went back to watch them. But every video that I save it for a reason. I save it because it has something that I can speak about. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And it's a lot of stuff that I haven't revisited. So I'm going to go here and see what we got in here. We are, number one, I don't listen to other content creators. I don't listen to other content creators. The person has to be extremely special for me to engage with them or listen to their content. We are going to be reviewing some Scott Galloway. We're going to be reviewing something from Scott Galloway today. I'm very I'm excited to look into this. Do I listen to Shira 7? No. Do I know what she talks about? Yes. Right. Do I have a perspective on what I have heard? Yes. I just got on clear lip gloss. This is clear lip gloss. So what you actually think is a lip color is actually my lips mixed with some of this lip liner. So it's really just a little bit of this lip liner blending in with my natural lip color and clear lip gloss. Jordan Peterson and Scott Galloway are definitely two guys I would like to talk to, right? Will they address what I tell them head on, or will they evade? See, you can sound intelligent. Oh, I would definitely like to talk to Robert Green. You can sound intelligent when you talking to just your people. When you talking to other males and people who are disaffected, right? And you appeal to their emotions, you can sound profound. But when it's time to address the issues, baby, if you want a man that bad that you're willing to get on one knee and propose, let me tell you, this how you really sound. This how you really sound. I have searched long and hard, far and wide, to find some guy that I could give up all of my value to. Now, I really don't know how much value I got, but the little bit of value I do have, I'm willing to give it all. I'm willing to cook every day and clean every day. I am willing to also go 50-50. And if we can't go 50-50, I am willing to foot the whole bill. I am willing to stroke your ego till there is no more ego stroking in the world. I am willing to do all of this for you for the rest of my life. I even went and bought a ring. This you. This is you. On one knee. I'm willing to take all of the Delulu juice that you have. And I will make sure that don't no woman come in between me and my man. Ain't no home wreckers, bitch. No home wreckers. You understand? And I'm so dedicated that I'ma catch my own bouquet. I'ma throw my bouquet up and I'ma make sure that if we divorce, I'll be the next one to marry you again. Cause I'm that serious, right? Look, I mean it. I'm dedicated. I'm dedicated.
You know how to love fruits yet. Quick.
That's what she was saying in this still frame right here. That was all she was saying in that still frame right there. Right there, this is when she was telling the home wrecker. No home wreckers allowed. You might have had him for one night, but he's gonna come right back because all the clothes that he wear, I buy. The car that he driving in, I pay the note on it, Miss Shirley. Hello, may I speak to Barbara? Barbara, this is Shirley. Yeah.
All that being said, I want to thank all y'all for holding my secret. Yes.
Yeah, just showing you what you're doing. I just want to show you what you look like. What you look like.
Yes.
Oh, here another thing. Here another thing. Tell him. Tell him, sir.
Something that I've seen for a while now is how high the lesbian divorce rate is. I think it's something like 75%.
It's another round of these are not facts. They're just things you made up to justify your feelings. So misogynistic creators, fresh from their defeat of trying to use a single statistic about domestic violence, completely misinterpret what it means, and then use it to make lesbians look bad, are back with a new plan. To take a single statistic about divorce, completely misrepresent what it means, and use it to make lesbians look bad. Now, the first point is that this is not a divorce rate. It comes from the UK's Office of National Statistics, which reported that of same-sex divorces, 72% were between female couples, which is not the same as saying that 72% of lesbian marriages end in divorce. Now, while it is true that women make up the majority of same-sex divorces, it is also true that women make up the majority of same-sex marriages, and a greater proportion of marriages means a greater proportion of divorces.
Wait a minute. You mean to tell me the majority of same-sex marriages is between women? I wonder why that is. You know, there's a neurological and biological reason for that. But let's keep going.
Now, my mutual professor, Neil, has also done a video on this topic, which I'll link in the comments, where he actually looked at the divorce rates in various countries. And while it is true that Norway, Netherlands, and Sweden all report a divorce rate for lesbian couples that is higher than opposite-sex couples, anywhere from 30 to 60% higher, Massachusetts reported a divorce rate for same-sex couples that was identical to that of opposite-sex couples. And in Denmark, the divorce rate for lesbian couples was half that of opposite-sex couples. But even more damning is that in the UK, when you read the rest of the ONS report, they actually include the divorce rate for same-sex marriages. And you can see that the divorce rate for women in same-sex marriages, while double that of men, is 0.2 divorces per 1,000 marriages. Meanwhile, for opposite-sex couples, it is 9.2 divorces per 1,000 marriages. Put another way, opposite-sex marriages have a divorce rate that is 45 times higher than lesbian marriage.
What? Opposite marriage divorce rate is 45 times higher? So, 0.2 divorces out of 1,000 versus 9 point. What?
But none of this covers the fact that women in same-sex marriages face more of the risk factors for divorce. They tend to marry younger than men in same-sex marriages. They also have less household income than men in same-sex marriages. And while men in same-sex marriages are less likely to work than their opposite-sex counterparts, women in same-sex marriages are actually more likely to work than their opposite-sex counterparts.
Wait a minute. Are you saying that men in same-sex marriages are less likely to work than women in same-sex marriages? So you mean to tell me that a lot of them are lazy even together? A lot of them are lazy together and women together work? And you want to convince me that you actually are attracted to men? No, you not, because you looking for somebody that work just as hard as you, baby. That's a woman, because they ain't even working with each other.
Women in same-sex marriages are 3 times more likely to have a child in the home than men in same-sex marriages.
So women are 3 times more likely to have a child in the home than than men in same-sex marriages. So my question is where they getting the money from? Where they getting the money from if they still make more money than the lesbians, but they work less than the lesbians, and the lesbians have a child in the house?
As for the main thrust of their bogus argument, that lesbian relationships are somehow more abusive, the ONS also reports the grounds for divorce, and abuse is covered by unreasonable behavior. And while there is not a definitive list of behaviors that are covered by this definition, it does include domestic abuse, substance addiction, reckless spending, and adultery. And unreasonable behavior is the most common grounds for divorce across all marriages. But it is male single-sex divorces which most frequently cite unreasonable behavior as the grounds for divorce.
What? It's the male's behavior. That is cited as the most unreasonable grounds for divorce.
70% of cases, highlighting that once again, these misogynists never read the full report that they're citing, and when you do, it completely undermines their argument. And this is such a missed opportunity to have a conversation about unreasonable behavior and why it is the most commonly cited grounds for divorce, what men can do to avoid it, how they can improve and strengthen their marriages. And that would do far more to help and support men than deliberately swerving away from the point yet again, just so you can bash women.
That's all they want to do. And here's the thing. You have women who are pick-me's who can't wait to find some way to bash women to support males. It don't make no sense that you gotta, and clearly it's not a black male. Of course it would be a white male who has some education that would come over here and tell the truth about the numbers. Unreasonable behavior, right? Like all kind of stuff that males do. But let the woman tell it, she absolutely prefers a relationship with men while she's complaining about all this stuff. Baby, where's your brain? Where's your brain? Because all of the evidence is pointing to the fact that you don't really like men. So there is some other reason that you're going towards them. And you want to know what that reason is? Conditioning, social engineering, normalizing dysfunction. Normalizing dysfunction. So let me show you sexual selection. It's Charles Darwin's sexual selection. This is for male. Sexual selection is about making it easier for males to pass their genes along. Sexual selection ain't about you, baby. It's about them. And guess what sexual selection is talking about? Sexy sons. Sexy sons. The best thing that could have ever happened to a male to make his life easier is being attractive. That's what sexual selection is about. So, everything that glitter ain't gold. You have been tricked into walking into the lion's den. So instead of him having to go out and fight and prove and earn sexual rights, his attractiveness draws the female to him. This is called sexual selection. This is Charles Darwin's shit. Right? Let's see. Let's see. Which one it is? Current biology. Check this out. All right. So what is sexual selection? Sexual selection is Darwin's second great insight, and he defined it as depending on the advantage which certain individuals have over other individuals of the same sex and species solely in respect of reproduction. So sexual selection can be thought of as an interspecific reproductive competition. While some have suggested distinguishing between sexual and natural selection is worthless, Darwin made the distinction clearly, cogently, and for good reason. He was trying to explain the existence of characters that were apparently not favored by natural selection. He says, for example, that sexual selection depends not on the struggle for existence, but on the struggle between males for possession of females. Statements like this have been misinterpreted by some as implying that Darwin was not aware of female reproductive competition, but this is clearly not the case. These can display traits used to attract females and or weapons used in male-to-male combat. Shown here clockwise from top to left are the plumage of a male sunbird, the exaggerated sword of a male sword-tailed-fish, the horns of a male chameleon, and the enlarged eye stalks of a male stalk-eyed fly. Images courtesy of Mr. McFarlane. Darwin suggested that when males and females had different habits and differed in traits other than primary sexual characters, the differences were probably due to natural selection. Furthermore, whenever a trait is developed for the general purposes of life, this is also due to natural selection. If, however, a trait provides an advantage over a rival in securing a mate, then it's subject to sexual selection. Darwin also suggested that many characters are likely to be exposed to both forms of selection, and that it will often be difficult to distinguish between the two. But although difficult, the distinction is still useful conceptually and operationally. And when talking about the sum of these two mechanisms of evolution, selection or net selection should be used as an umbrella term to incorporate both natural selection and sexual selection and distinguish them from neutral processes that cause organic evolution, such as a genetic drift. Sexual selection is not a subcategory of natural selection, as Darwin made very clear. It arises from differences in mating success, whereas natural selection is due to variance in all other fitness components. This simple delineation comes close to Darwin's concepts and distinctions. What Darwin apparently did not clearly appreciate, however, is that sexual selection is often stronger than natural selection. as it frequently drives trait values beyond their naturally selected optima. Furthermore, this occurs even though sexual selection largely acts on only half the population, usually males. This occurs though sexual selection largely acts on only half the population, usually males. So males depend heavily on sexual selection, which are traits that will attract females to them. This is why I keep saying that y'all was tricked by cute dudes. And then they created this artificial environment and gave the male all the resources to further draw you towards them. It's not natural selection, sweetie. Sexual selection and natural selection are two different things. So they have tilted the scales artificially into their favor, tricking you to go towards them. Baby, I swear to God, y'all cannot win this argument with me. You're not gonna win. So, a situation that has been referred to as the quantitative paradox of sexual selection. The solution to this apparent paradox is that the variance in male reproductive success, not female, but male, sexual selection is a category specifically for males that heavily wait. What is that?
It's cherries.
It's cherries? I had cherries in there?
Yeah.
Can I have some?
Uh-huh. Here.
Thank you. Thank you, sweetie.
Yeah.
You know how to eat them, right? Spit out the seed, okay? Put the seed in there. Spit out the seed.
Mm-hmm.
Good job. Good job. Right. Okay. All right. So this is all about male reproduction capabilities. Things that make it easier for him to pass his genes along. And as women, you have lost your way. You have bought into this delusion, and they tricked you with love. They tricked you with appearance. They tricked you, sweetie. Okay? The solution to this apparent paradox is that the variance in male reproductive success is typically very large, meaning that sexual selection can be strong. It is important to remember that the variance in reproductive success is a measure of the potential for sexual selection and need not imply that any selection is occurring. The variance in sexual fitness may be random with respect to trait values, which of course means no selection. So this is why I tell you that women need knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Because if you do not have knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, you will be left vulnerable to your biological processes. And you are completely outrun by what happens unconsciously on a biological level. So by you leading your relationships with sex, by claiming heterosexual, you are moving from the lower self. And the lower self is completely vulnerable to subconscious or unconscious behavioral patterns. You didn't know nothing about sexual selection being a key thing for male reproductive fitness.